Welcome to another beautiful episode of the channel, Follow Your Canadian Dream. And today we'll be answering the questions that the audience are asking that borders on how much do I need to have? That is for everything before I can come to Canada. And like I used to say, it's a difficult question, but today we'll try to demystify the myths behind these questions. And instead of asking how much, we'll have what we need to do to prepare financially. So I will share my screen. I will show several screens from the Government of Canadian website. Then I will walk us through the different fees that we can pay. Certainly, it is not all the fees that you are going to pay. For example, you will need to transport the passports when eventually it gets to time. There is no way you will see it on the site, but these are money you will need to transport yourself and your family to the point of that is the visa location where you will do your biometrics. Sometimes you need to stay in the hotel. You need to feed yourself and your family. These are added costs that you will incur in your journey to come to Canada. But they are actually basic costs that each and everybody going through a process and through the same routes will need to pay. Now let's share my screen so that we'll dig into it a little bit deeper. So we'll know the kind of questions that we're asking when we do ask those questions. Now, we will go to the Government of Canada website, and this is cic.gc.ca. And yeah, our permanent residence fees have increased. Yeah. Now look at it. On this page, you are seeing that there are different sections for fees. You have temporary residence, you have permanent residence, you have family sponsorship, you have citizenship. And so if you click on it, you see there are different fee structures. Okay. And look at permanent again. For the permanent residence, which many of us will be focused on. Let me click here for a bit. You see, for permanent residents, you see there are fee structures for business admins, immigration, for caregiver, for economic immigration, for humanitarian and compassionate immigration, and the rest. So if you're asking a fee, not until you know the particular route that you are using to come to Canada, it will be a difficult question. Let's use this, which is the popular route that many people want, the economic immigration route. Let's click on it. And you see a whole lot. So you see these fees applies to Agri-Food Pilot Program, Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, Atlantic Immigration Program, Canadian Experience Class, the Federal Skilled Workers, Federal Skilled Trades, Provincial Nominee, Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot, and Quebec Selected Workers. So what it means is that all the fees for people using any of these routes, you are going to pay something similar, but the changes might be in the number of persons in your family. Now, let's go with the fee structure. These are the fees if you want to use the economic routes. Now, once you are given an invitation to apply, that is, you're invited to apply for permanent residence, you will need to pay the processing fee of $850. That is the processing fee as the applicant. You need to. Then you need to pay the rights of permanent residence fee, which is $515. You can pay it together when you are, that is when you start processing the fee, or you can pay the 850 component initially, and once you're given your visa, before you collect it, you need to pay this. But if you have the money, it is worth just paying the total of this right from the word go, so that you don't get into panic when they say your visa is ready and you don't have money. So this is one component of the fee. You have, let me try to circle them so that you see. Yeah, so this is one of it. So this particular fee is actually this component we are seeing here. So if you send your application without the right of permanent, you will pay this one alone. Now, if you include your spouse in your application while you are doing, that is, you're not going alone, your spouse also need to pay the processing fee of $850 and also the rights of permanent residence fee, which is this again. So for both of you, you will pay this. So it will be, for two of you now, it will be this plus this. And if you have children in your application, if you have 2 children, it will be 2 times 230. So for this one now, if it is 2 children, you are going to pay for 460. I am actually using my mouse pad, so it's wonky kind of, but so you see, if you are making an application for permanent residency, so we assume this is just an hypothetical case that you have 4 persons in the family and you are going to pay all the fees from the word go. You will pay this amount for yourself, this for your wife, and this for the 2 kids. So they are set amount of money. There is nothing you can do. The only thing is that this 515 components, you can choose not to pay it at the initial stage. So, but when you are told that you have your visa ready, you now need to make this payment. So you have this component of fees ready. One thing I will say, these fees that you are seeing are subject to change from year to year. With the increases in inflation, sometimes the fees changes. So whenever you want to make your application, do come to the Canadian government website and search for the fee lists where you can see the correct amount of money that you need to pay. The next one we will talk about is the biometric fees. Yeah, it's constant. That amount is 85 Canadian dollar. And just to let you know, all the amounts we've been talking about, they are all in Canadian dollars. So it is not USD. Have that in the back of your mind, Canadian dollars. So one person, if it's an adult, is going to pay 85 Canadian dollar. And so for yourself, for your wife, and once the kids are more than 17, yes, I think they are going to pay these too. But if you apply as a family, you'll be able to pay 170 for the family class, the whole. That is the same time. The next big one that bothers many persons is what they call proof of fund if you're applying for permanent routes. So we started with this and we focused on permanent. Yeah, look at it. We focus on permanent residence and we focus on economic immigration. And that is how we are calculating it. If you click on this, the fees are entirely different. So, but this is not what we are looking at this time around. We actually was looking at economic immigration. And for permanent residency, you will need to also show proof of fund. Again, these fees are not static. When I mean they are not static, they are subject to change, review as the year passes. So if you want to apply, make sure you know the current value in Canadian dollar. And what this means is that you need to show this amount of money just to convince the Canadian government that you will not be a burden to them when you are offered that visa. So for this money that we have on the right-hand side, you are actually not paying it to the Canadian government. It is your money, but it needs to be in your bank account 30 days before. Oh, it is three months, not 30 days. It needs to be there 3 months prior to when you are actually applying. And what it means is that if you are applying for yourself alone, that is one person in the family, you need to show proof of 13,310. And let's say you have 4 persons in the family and everybody is applying at the same time, you need to show these amounts equivalent in your local currency. So you can use a good currency converter. What I use is Ohanda. Convert 24,733 to whatever currency you are using. These, and I would suggest you top it more, because for some countries the currency is actually falling. So when you have it higher than this in your local currency, even if there is a rise or fall, you will still be within limits. So that is just the simple trick to beat this. And once you have this amount, it is not something you run to and use as you want, because you don't know the time that the Canadian immigration body will go to your bank to check whether you have this proof of fund. So it is practically all there. Like they said, it's unencumbered. Money that is sitting without problem, without worries. It's just there. And believe you me, when they say proof of fund, you will definitely need it once your visa has been approved. This amount of money is what you will start using to probably get your flight ticket, your accommodation when you're here in Canada, and also to keep the family running once you land in Canada. What if you have more than 8 persons in the family? Now, if you have more than 8 persons in the family, you are going to do this. You are going to take this one. This is what you will have. Plus, if you have 1 person in the family, it will be plus this one. That is additional 1 person, which is 8 now. That's what I'm saying. Then if it is 9 persons, this value, you have to multiply it by 2 to give you 9 persons. So you add this. So this value times 2 plus this is what you need to have in your bank account once you are 9 in the family. So these are just the amount of money you need to show, you need to have access to when you are making your preparation to come to Canada. Will there be other fees? I guarantee there is other fee that you need to pay. And for example, when you make your paper application, you will need to use courier service, which is what I advise, to send your application to Nova Scotia, to the immigration agency. Sometimes you don't live in a place where you have the visa application center. You will need to travel through flight, train. So you are leaving your city to another city. And once you get there, sometimes it takes a day or half the day. You need to find a place to stay. You need to book. So You need to also pay for medicals, which we've not discussed here. So these are extra fees that are included in all of these. So that is why when people ask that question, how much do I need? These are just the components. There are still other basic fees that you will pay. But the good news is that you are not shunning at this amount of money in one go. They come over time. So having said this, and we have this perception, we have a view of how much we can actually literally spend, we can start the process gradually and work our way through. And then I will see you in Canada and probably welcome some of you who are watching my video right now. If you found value thus far, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it to others so that they also can get this wonderful benefit that we are having now. And I will definitely see you in the next video.